Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today, man, I'm very tired, but you know what? This video is just kind of funny. And so I decided, you know what, let's go ahead and talk about this, because so far we've discussed pretty much every stage of this complete failure by Twitch when it comes to this really dumb controversy, right? Like, I don't even understand where the actual controversy really is, right? Because it seems like most people actually agree that this kind of stuff should not be on Twitch. There's only really a very small subsection of people that are like vehemently defending a lot of this stuff, and I think that right there speaks volumes. You know what I mean? But anyway, Twitch obviously made some pretty ridiculous changes to their rules a few days ago that basically allowed real or fictional nudity under artistic nudity and all these other things, including like allowing twerking and stripping and all these other like crazy things, which obviously was probably a pretty wild decision to make in the first place, considering that just days before that there was a massive online like outrage basically surrounding what is being called the topless meta, aka when these female streamers would come on stream and be showing everything on their tits except for like the front 10%, and then they were just trying to skirt the lines and get away with what they could, right? And Twitch basically sided with them, and they updated all of their terms or whatever to like allow a lot of this shit, and people obviously did not take to this well, and there's multiple reasons why, but of course, you know, the number one reason that people are throwing around is, oh, people only care because female streamers are making a bunch of money doing it. It's a bunch of incels who care. You know, it's always just some stupid shit that gets watered down like that. But some people are defending Twitch and have defended Twitch. Personally, not me. I think that they are a pretty big failure of a company in all reality. I'm not even going to mince words here. While they did roll back part of their update, and that's what we're going to be talking about, the fact that they even went through with it in the first place is just mind-blowing to me. But Twitch issued a response and an update to this entire thing, and there's a pretty notable segment of it that I want to really discuss in this video. So, effective today, we are rolling back the artistic nudity changes. Moving forward, depictions of real or fictional nudity will not be allowed on Twitch, regardless of the medium. This restriction does not apply to mature-rated games. You can find emote-specific standards for nudity and sexual content in the emote guidelines. We aren't making other changes to the updated sexual content policy. We are in the process of pushing out updates to our community guidelines that reflect this change. It will take a few days for both this blog and for the new community guidelines to be translated. While I wish we would have predicted this outcome, part of our job is to make adjustments that serve the community. I apologize for the confusion that this update has caused. Alright, so like I said, I think some pretty interesting words in this entire thing here, right? So first I want to talk about the actual changes themselves, right, that are basically getting rolled back. Now, there was much more controversial stuff that was included in the recent update that basically is, from what I understand, still allowed, or is some sort of gray area surrounding it, right? For instance, they started allowing twerking and like strip teases or whatever, right? I guess as long as you're not fully nude, that stuff is still completely okay, but I mean, yeah, if you're a real person just trying to get like butt booty naked on stream, right, that's no longer okay. And I mean, realistically, that is the right choice. Good on Twitch for, I guess, realizing after the backlash that their decisions caused that this was just a stupid decision to make in the first place. And so now they've updated this. Let's talk about why real quick before we even push forward. I think a lot of people are misconstruing all of this as like oh, Twitch is finally listening to the community, you know? They really understand for once how we all feel. They've finally gotten our perspective and they've put it to good use. They really did something great here. I don't know, man. I really just don't believe that. I think in all reality, obviously the backlash influenced a lot of this, right? I mean, so many people were pissed off that, you know, Twitch was basically siding with this stuff that most of the community doesn't agree with. And not only were they siding with them, they were basically expanding their permissions to go full blown with it, like not even trying to hide the fact that they were doing it. Because first, right, Twitch had it to where they had to like skirt the fucking line. Like if they wanted to get really, you know, raunchy, I guess, on stream or whatever, they had to really skirt the lines. Like oh, I'm only wearing my bikini because because I'm doing a hot tub stream, you know? I'm not just doing it because I want my asshole hanging out. I'm just doing it because, you know, I like taking a dip in the hot tub late at night for 4 hours, and I just, you know, just so happen to stand up and do a 360 spin and jump every time I get a new subscriber, right? It's just one of those things that just happens, you know? But of course, now with these rules getting more and more lax on this stuff, it was getting to a point where they weren't even trying to hide it. And then now, with a lot of these updates, they still don't have to. And I think that's still kind of an L, right? Because, I mean, let's just make it clear here too. Twitch is a website that allows people of 13 and over to sign up for the website. So a pretty good portion of potential users of Twitch are gonna be under 18 years old because, you know, they can just be teenagers using the website. And there's just like pretty much no protection against a lot of this shit for them, right? And the reason that I know that is because the other night I decided to like just go on Twitch not logged in on any account in like an incognito tab or whatever, and then I just like went to the browsing channels or whatever, and the third stream that came up was an 18 plus stream, and the only, I guess, protection that it really does is like, it's like, hey, there's sexual content on this stream, would you like to continue? And you just click yes. It's no security at all. So like any 13, 14, 15, whatever year old kid can just be on this website watching this shit, and apparently no one is supposed to see a problem with that. Now, the argument that people have been using for this is, oh, but bro, you gotta remember that when we were on the internet as kids, shit was horrible, bro. We saw all these nasty shock videos. We were all watching, you know, the hub at a young age. And yeah, unfortunately for a lot of that stuff, that is true. But because I grew up as a child with pretty much unrestricted access online and was able to discover shit like that way too young for my own good, I think it's perfectly normal to be like, hey, I don't think other kids should go through that. I don't think other kids should be getting fucking destroyed and tainted by the disturbing things that they're seeing online. And people are like, oh, but it's not disturbing, you know, they're just seeing some fucking ass shake on Twitch. And it's like, but bro, 14-year-olds should not be watching that. I don't care what anybody says. That is just not normal. Your kid should not be watching that shit. The way that I see it, right, is if you're not comfortable like sitting there watching it with your kid, it's probably something you should reconsider them watching. And how many people are really going to sit there with like a 14-year-old and watch that? And if they do, there's something wrong with them, right? I don't know. Like, I'm one of the people, I don't think that shit should be something that basically kids should be able to be signing in and seeing. So, I mean, even on YouTube, right? Like for age-restricted content, you have to sign into the platform, which is supposed to like verify you're over 18, which of course it's pretty lax too, and you can get around it, but I mean, it's better than what Twitch is offering. And the reason that they're pushing all of this through is because, let's be real, I think advertisers probably stepped in the back and just kind of like did something, right? Because, you know, Coca-Cola and all these other brands, right? Like they won't advertise on Twitter because they think Elon Musk is an anti-Semite or whatever, right? They've boycotted YouTube like 70 different times for dangerous content to children, like ElsaGate and shit like that, right? I'm pretty sure that a lot of these companies probably were seeing some sort of backlash to this, and they probably were like on the phone like, hey, by the way, this shit isn't normal or correct, right? Like, I just don't see advertisers giving this deep of a fuck when it comes to every other competitor and every other social media but Twitch, right? Like, I'm pretty sure somebody stepped in the marketing department or whatever and was like, hey, by the way, if we want to make money and we don't want like half of the country to turn against us for, you know, fucking allowing unfiltered access to just garbage to their children, yeah, maybe we shouldn't be standing for this, right? So, I mean, this is what happens when you make announcements like this and then 4 hours afterwards, the entire whole Twitch page basically is just full of artists doing cartoon porn and shit like that. I mean, if you went on Twitch within like 6 hours of these rules getting announced, I mean, the platform literally just like switched like a light bulb. It was crazy. Like I said, the third stream that popped up in a like new browser or whatever for me was just a one where a woman was like dry humping and massaging a Squirtle or something, right? Like, it was just fucking weird. Your children should not be signing up to platforms to see things like this. And, you know, once again, people keep acting like, oh, but the internet has never been a place that's safe for kids, right? We saw fucked up shit when we were kids too, bro. Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't want kids growing up in that kind of situation. Like, and this is the thing, right? Because people keep talking about like, oh, well, you know, the Hub or websites like that, their security's pretty lax. You know, kids can go watch that with no problem. And yeah, that's true. But go ahead and consider this for me, okay? And I think this really tells you everything about this point being made, okay? Let's say I'm a father of a 13-year-old boy, okay? And he is allowed to have a Twitch account. You know, I'm like, okay, that's what the website says. This is gaming content my son's supposed to be on here watching. I'm okay with him signing up. He creates an account, right? And I am a parent that's proactive, and I look through his search history and, you know, monitor which websites he's going to. Now, here's the thing. If I see my 13-year-old son search up Pornhub.com, I know exactly what the fuck he's doing, right? Like, I know he's not going on there and watching gaming content, right? Like, he's going on there and he's seeing the worst shit for him to be seeing in that moment, right? Like, literal brain poison, let's just be honest here. Like, just something he shouldn't be doing at his age, let's be honest. But once again, like, you know what he's doing. However, if I see him go to Twitch TV and, you know, he's just watching a bunch of different fucking streamers, I'm gonna be under the assumption that he's watching people play video games, you know what I mean? I'm not going to assume that he's watching some cam streamer or some VTuber who is doing a nude cast or whatever, right? So that's the key difference here, right? I don't understand why people are trying to equate the two as if it's like the same thing. I mean, I guess, right, on the security, both sites could probably be a little better. There's some concerns to be had about both, sure. But only one of these platforms is actively marketing itself as a place for teenagers and people of younger ages to watch gaming content. That's the problem that people have with all this stuff. Like, if Twitch wasn't marketing itself as what it is marketing itself as, this would be completely different, you know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is Twitch keeps acting like it's this, like, home of gaming that wants to contend with YouTube streaming and Kick and Rumble and all these other platforms, but then its competition idea, for whatever reason, is just, oh, let's try to be like OnlyFans. Like, newsflash, guys, there's already fucking 6 trillion websites online that do the same exact thing as what you're trying to do. And yet you're the only one who's actively doing this shit towards children. I don't know, man. But it's funny, actually, because at the end they're like, oh, I wish we could have predicted this outcome, man. Like, who would have guessed that if we just completely opened the floodgates to nudity and just fucking garbage on our platform, that within hours a bunch of people would be fucking drawing cartoon porn and naked anime characters and be doing nude VTube streams and stuff like that. Who would have guessed that would have happened, right? I don't know. It's like these are billion-dollar companies that have just fucking unfathomable amounts of power, reach, and users and everything, right? And it's like there's not one person at a company like Twitch that is critically capable of thinking, hey, maybe this wasn't a fucking good idea. And apparently the only ones that can do it, if there are any, only do it after the fact, right? They only do it after, you know, they've already fucking spilled the milk. They don't, for some reason, think before they decide to make these weird, random changes that most of the community disagrees with. They don't think like, hey, maybe this is not the right way to go. Apparently everyone there just fucking agrees in unison anytime any idea is presented, because how else do you come up with such a resounding failure in your policy, right? Like, this didn't even last a week, you know, before they had to come in and like modify it so heavily that they had to cut out an entire big segment of this content that, keep in mind, by the way, they said in their last update was being so over-enforced against female streamers that it was creating like this unfair, toxic environment. Yeah, so like last time they talked about this, you know, we're doing this for the women, right? We're doing this to equalize things. And then now it's, oh, well, we kind of missed the mark on what everyone thought about this. Well, what happened there, right? Because I feel like everybody really is for equality when it comes to male and female streamers. I think that's part of the problem, right? People are mad that females so often get away with simple infractions in all reality, but even then, their male counterparts get harsher punishments for it, right? I don't know, man. I feel like people keep trying to misinterpret what this is, and they keep trying to take it away and fucking nitpick it into something else. Like, I don't have a problem with sex workers. I don't necessarily have a problem with, like, porn, right? A whole bunch of people watch it, including myself, but pretending like we need to sit here and, like, just be allowing 14-year-olds to sign up for sites where they're at a young age before their fucking brain is conditioned properly. They're just getting fucking flooded with this content that is undoubtedly gonna turn many of them into the consumer coomers who are paying for these fucking OnlyFans pages and, you know, these tier 3 sub streams, whatever, right? That's part of the problem there in and of itself, right? I just want younger people who are going through a similar phase that I did on the internet back, you know, 10, 15, you know, years ago when I was first getting online. I want them to be able to do it in a safer environment that doesn't encourage them to become porn addicts. I'm sorry. Hey, if that makes me a bad guy, my fault, bro. But anyway, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubTheOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about the Twitch changes and signing out. And that's a wrap on this video, but a big shout out to my Optimus Nation supporters. You guys are the real MVPs here. Your support with just $10 a month unlocks a treasure trove of exclusive videos, constantly updated, archived live stream VODs, and early access to all new uploads. Thanks for watching and see you soon.